So last time we spoke, well, thanks for coming back on, first of all. The last time we spoke, I think you were at home, but you had moved to Wigan at the time, I think, or there was something, I can't remember really. But it was around the time you moved to Wigan anyway. And since then, so now you're the fittest man in the UK.
Cool. Milking it like.
Yeah. Still on paper until next, like, whatever, June. Does that come with pressure? Like, do you feel like does that, are you proud of that, or are you kind of like, does it become meaningless after a certain point, or?
Yeah, it's all right, little achievement to tick off, like, but still means no, because I came 10th in semi-finals, and I'm the fittest in the UK, and that's the furthest anyone else got. But what achievement's that? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's now like the games is the ultimate goal, and to do well at the games as well. But yeah, it was a bittersweet to go, like, for the end of the season to fall like that. But yeah, I keep fucking telling everyone every time I go to Tesco and Asda and that, I'm like, any chance for fucking some discount on the UK's fittest bloke in the end? They're like looking at us like, what are you on about?
Yeah, you're like wearing a t-shirt that you made yourself with like permanent marker. Fittest and like man is spelled wrong or something. So yeah, you finished 10th in strength and depth. Europe was pretty fucking stacked, wasn't it? Like the two semi-finals.
Oh man, Jesus Christ! Just shows like the caliber when people like Janikowski didn't get through.
Yeah,
our region, and like, fuck yeah, no, it's deep.
And when you see that you finished 10th and that you're the fittest in the UK, like you said there, it just shows how strong the field is and stuff. But like, are you like, is it hard not to be kind of like downtrodden when you see that? When you see like, I'm the fittest in my country and I'm still like 9 places off the top of the semi-finals in
levels. Like, there's even levels like through top 10, like just to get even close to top 5. There's a few levels, and then from fucking 5th to 1st, there's even bigger step. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know I'm in the mix still with the workouts, like grunt workouts and fast stuff, but the skill stuff, like, I couldn't believe how fast people could go on legless rope climbs. Like,
yeah,
it was mind blowing. When I checked the leaderboard and looked, I was like 22nd with like 3:30. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I took like a minute off my training time, and still was nowhere near good enough. It's scary. Like,
what was it like, just as an overall experience, like being in London and competing in the UK?
Mad. Like, my mates come down from Newcastle, and I was like, right, I'll meet you out for a coffee in 5 minutes. It took me like fucking hour to walk from one end to the other, just by like, kept getting stopped by people, and like some little lad came up to me and like asked for my autograph, and I was like, oh, fucking hell, I've only got one autograph, mate. Like, you could do this for fraud here. Like, I'm giving you my only autograph. Like, he's gonna fucking turn us over. And then just like once one person asked for a photo, then the next people are just fucking, you get crowded. Like, and then my mates were getting sick of it by the end. They were like, yeah, if another family comes up to me and asks for a photo, I'm turning them down. And my mate Potty was like, right, I'm not doing it anymore. He just like turned his back on this family. I was like, no, Potty. I was like, wait a minute. It's like, my arms aren't long enough to do a selfie for fucking 5 people. Like, you're gonna have to do this photo for the family. Like, he's like, nah, I'm not doing it anymore. I was like, fuck it. No. It was class. It was class to do it on home turf, and the crowd was mega. Like, it was really good. Event. I felt it was ran class. Like, I think they should get it for next year as well. How well it was ran. Yeah, it was top weekend, mate. Really good.
Well, like, that's obviously different. So like, your experiences to date with competition. So like, you've done, like smaller, like, not dismissing the other competitions, but you've done like, I guess, more like regional competitions in the UK, and you've done like, you're at Wadapalooza, but that's not on home soil. So like, you could easily walk through the crowd in Wadapalooza and maybe like 10 people might recognize you or whatever. Yeah. Whereas when you're at this, you say that, like, so if you're finishing an event and you're going for a coffee, and like the plan is obviously go for a coffee, catch up, go back to the hotel or wherever I'm staying, rest, like get ready. But then it has taken you an extra hour
Oh,
And then
yeah.
obviously it's not just an hour as in like you're sitting in traffic. It's like an hour of talking to people,
Yeah.
like smiling, chatting away,
It
whatever. Like that
doesn't
takes
feel like
energy
an hour.
too.
Like, it goes like flies, but like time just gets away from you. Then you're like fucking out. Then you rush your coffee. Then the next minute you're fucking out on the floor competing again. Like
Yeah.
it just disappears away from you. Like it was like, even at Wadpalooza, like people come up and ask for photos. Like I was on the way back from with David and we were talking, and some guy randomly stopped with his missus. He's like, "Oh my god, it's Reggie Fasa." And I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "This American gives it now. Like, what's going on here, man?" I was like, "Get a picture of David, man. He's actually been in the games. I've fucking done out yet." Like,
But do you think that that's something that you'd be more savvy towards, like say next time that you'd be like, okay, I need to find a different way to leave, or I need to find it, like, is that something that you kind of need to change, do you think?
I think it's still quite cool. Like fucking people, I always give like my time to people asking for photos or whatever like that. But probably just like walk with a bit more of a purpose to places,
Yeah.
like because you see that when the big names come in, like they're just walking with a bit of pace, with like a few, not like fucking security around them, but just like the mates around them, like as if they're going somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like if you ever see BKG, he like power walks.
Yeah, yeah.
And like,
When I seen Catherine Walson the first time, she was fucking practically running, man. I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think that's it's probably a lesson you learn, I suppose, that
Yeah,
that
still
hour. Yeah. Okay, so then strength, like looking at the numbers, there was like say that outlier, like you're in or around the top 5 for 3 of them, in around the top 10 for the other 2, and then you had the outlier of 24th. Is it like
24th, was it? Fucking hell. I'm getting knocked down as the days go on by it. Like, Jesus Christ. It was 22nd when I checked it, Sid.
appeals? Is that like, do you know obviously the 4th, the 6th, the 5th, like there is impressive finishes there, especially when you consider the field that you're in. Like you're talking about wanting to finish in the top 5, and you've got 2 finishes in the top 5, one just outside it. But is the changes that you think you need for say next year or beyond or whatever, is it like skill capacity? Is it like endurance? Is it
I think it's just
your like competition savvy?
it's just exposure to more workouts. Like now just doing my own thing in training and following I've been following Mayhem for the past few months now. And I feel like learning off the back of GST, like I know how to train now, and I know how to like approach workouts, warm up, like going into Sid, like I had no real coach in my corner. I had Dan who was helping me out, but I didn't have anyone to talk to about strategy, and I just wanted to prove that I didn't really need anyone else now. Like I know my body and I know my abilities, that like I know how to compete and I know how to break things up, and I'm not just going to go off the rails and just go hard as I can for the first fucking 2 minutes and die. I feel like I know how to compete. It's just putting that into training now. Like I feel like I know how to train now. I know doing things for a purpose rather than just doing a workout for the sake of it. Like keeping on top of skill work, and Tay she holds me accountable. Like even though she trains me, but I just feel like I know how to compete and train. I need to be more exposed to more CrossFit style stuff, and the stuff on Mayhem's pretty CrossFit-y. Like,
Is that why Mayhem? Why Mayhem over like
um,
HWPO or Invictus or the program or everyone else?
it just showed how many athletes that I know. I've always said doesn't matter what program you're on, you've still got to give it the effort and the purpose. But it was quite scary how many athletes they had go through to semi-finals, and then I'm sure it was like close to 50% went to the games or something like that.
Yeah.
And proof's in the pudding, really. Like if that's many athletes are going to the games through that program, it's obviously doing bits. Like, and I've been on it, like I say, a couple of months now, and I PR'd my 5K run, and just things just feel like they're going really well, like really well. And I just feel like it's just being exposed, but you've got to be sensible. Like I couldn't have done Mayhem fucking 3 or 2 years ago, because I would have just went off the rails with the training, and
Yeah.
would have just, by the time I got to Tuesday, I would have been fucked for Wednesday and Friday, because I've give everything to Monday and Tuesday, whereas like reining things in and capping things at the right time. Like I feel like I know how to do that now.
Yeah. Is that that was a skill learned through JST, I suppose, because when
Yeah,
we spoke the last time, you attributed to that.
just more in-house coaching, just with
Yeah.
when to put a lid on it and when to not fucking max out and cap the heart rate a bit, like. But I feel like you've got
So
to go through it. You've got to go through it to know it and know it
yeah.
best yourself, rather than getting someone hold your hand all the way through and then you get dropped into the deep end. Like you don't know what to do. Like I feel like I wouldn't change anything with what like the past few years of CrossFit and my training's been like. I've learned a lot of lessons.
And is that why you're doing it on your own then? Why you're not working with a specific coach? Is that you don't want to have the gap of like someone walking you through it and then be like, right, off you go now. You'd rather just be on your own all the way. Is that it?
Um, yeah, like fucking, it's like, in CrossFit, it's like your own hard work. Like you get people like fucking steering the ship and put you in the right direction and that, but like at the end of the day, you still got to put the work in and do the work.
Hmm.
And I feel there's a lot of people, and they get like as the athletes don't get enough credit for their own work. Do you know what I mean? Where they're like, I know like sponsors help and programs help and all this, like, and you see the big spiel at the end of like thanking everyone, like, but at the end of the day, it's their hard work. Do you know what I mean? Like they're the ones who are sacrificing all the hours, sacrificing the time, putting the graft in, like, and I feel like I just don't need anyone else in my corner. Really, I can do it myself.
So
Takes, I
when
think it
you,
takes a bit of pressure off when it goes through like qualifying stages and you've got someone setting up cameras and things like that. Like that is
yeah,
very
yeah.
stressful. So it's nice to have a good group of people around you there when you just be like, walk in, crack on with your warm up. Someone's got the camera setting up. You don't have to worry about where the camera's placed. And we've got a good little setup down Wales at the minute with the friends we've got around the corner. They know the crack, like when it comes to qualifiers and things like that. Like they know what to say at the right time, what to do, like the right atmosphere in the gym. Do you know what I mean?
And is Tayla doing mayhem as well?
Yeah, we're just doing the same one. Yeah.
Okay. Um, and do you train together or do you do like, because I can imagine you being quite competitive.
Oh,
I don't know
um,
if that would be healthy all the time.
like honestly, like this morning, I said I needed to go to the toilet, and she fucking raced me to go and have a shit on the toilet. I was like, what? I was like, that's drained me. I was like, the thing is, I didn't need a shit. Like, I just needed a wee, like, and I would be done in fucking 10 seconds. But you've raced me, fucking handbrake turned around the corner to have a shit on the toilet. Like, mad.
In the toilet, hopefully.
I
Not
don't
on
hate it. Like, she's just fucking just squatting. You ever seen Four Lions when they're doing the squat jogs? She was like running along the corridor like that.
Um, when was it a hard, was like, so say when you change, because I imagine changing program is like, I'd say it's sort of like changing job where you're like, there's probably a bit of like worry about like, oh fuck, is this the right thing to do? And
Yeah,
then after you do it, like maybe there's a honeymoon period where everything feels great, and then maybe you
yeah.
have a day where you're like, fuck, maybe I made a mistake. Like, did you go through those kind of things, or were you always positive about
I think it was a relief getting out of Wigan. Really, like it was hard work in Wigan, and it wasn't. You take little things for granted with not having my mates around, and um, you don't realize it until you come out of there, and then when I was so refreshing going back home, and then just like I pulled my hamstring not that long ago because I was getting that giddy that I hadn't seen everyone in a while. Like I was getting up at like 6:30, training with Mikey, then doing another session by myself, then training again in like the fucking afternoon session, then waiting for him to finish work, train with him again. Then I'd go and play football with the lads because I hadn't seen them in ages, and my body was just doing way too much. I ended up fucking pulling my hamstring because I was playing fucking five-a-side with the fucking boys at night time just because I hadn't fucking seen them in ages. And it was nice and refreshing that I could just go dot out the house and just see my mates and things like that. But I probably need to put a bit of a cap on it, like with how many fucking hours I was training. Like, but I've reined it in since then.
and where you're in Wales now all the time?
Yeah. No, we're just gonna take turns coming up. Tay's gonna come up to Newcastle. I'm gonna go down Wales until we'll find somewhere. I think we're gonna get a house in Wales. Um, we're busy looking at a house at the minute. But the house prices and that at the minute, fucking jokes. Trainers actually thinking about it. Like I've just remembered that I've got to do all this stuff, like adult things next week, and
Yeah,
fucking
you just pulled your hamstring again thinking about
oh, another thing I can't do now. Yeah,
it. And
but
then how long have you two been together?
fucking about 10 years, mate. It feels like it.
3 weeks.
Over a year or something now. Yeah, and a bit.
And did you meet through like JST and through CrossFit?
Yeah, just through fucking CrossFit, really. Like through JST, I met her on a training camp, and it wasn't there, and then we just got on well as friends, and then again, it just turned from there. Like when we started living together in Wigan, I don't know, fucking drained me.
I remember seeing, like, I don't know, was it her or you putting up a story, and I was like, oh, we're very close friends. And then I saw another story and I was like, yeah, they're not friends.
The fucking drain, man.
What was it like then doing strength and depth? Like, was it good that you were on the same weekend? Was it a shame that it wasn't her in Lowlands or you in Lowlands?
I think that would have been a bit more stressful, like going to a different country for it. It was nice just being on home soil, and you just didn't have to travel that far and things like that. But it was stressful in the sense that you couldn't really support each other. You just had to like close things
just
off.
like close it off. And
I honestly can't remember seeing her until I got in the night time, and obviously because I'd be out with my mates and things like that during the day of the competition, I didn't really go back to the hotel. Or just go somewhere quiet with my mates. Like I can't remember seeing her. Like people like asked where's Tayla, and I was like, fuck knows. I seen her at 8 o'clock this morning. That's the last time I seen her. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, it was a bit stressful. Like,
yeah. You also so you're following a new program. You've moved, and I think the last time we spoke, you either had just signed with Nocco, or there was talk of you signing with Nocco or something. Now you're with Hustle Made, and you're with Food Spring, and you've got like just, I guess, more opportunities and more backing and stuff. Like, is there a line there between something being like alleviating stress, but then also like putting on more pressure? Like, there's less stress, as in you don't maybe have to work as much or whatever, but there's more pressure of like, fuck, now I actually like need to do stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, and that's just got to be productive with your time. And I feel like it's good stress, it's good pressure to have. Like, it's a bit of a privilege to be sponsored by these high profiles, and they're not sponsoring you for no reason. You know what I mean? So you're obviously doing something right, but it is quite cool, especially with like Craig and Jazz will Hustle. Like, they treat you like a proper athlete, and they sort you out. And I was on a photo shoot with them last Thursday, and I was getting makeup on. I was like, fucking hell, what's going on here? Like, what am I doing here? And I'm sure she'd wipe my teeth as well on the photo edits, like, because the knee wear of that fucking pearly white on the photo is what they're like in real life. Like,
yeah, I watched that was on their vlog like 2 days ago or 3 days ago. I watched that. You did
I watch Craig's vlogs, but I can't watch the vlogs when I'm on there. Listen to my own voice, like, makes me fucking cringe. Like, podcasts and things like that, I can't listen to myself because it makes me feel sick. Like, I sound normal now in my head, but as soon as it comes out somewhere else, honestly,
do you know what? I think it's something to do with the way that your ears, the way that the sound travels through your skull or something. Because I'm the same, and I think nobody really likes hearing themselves. But I did voiceover stuff during the games, after the games, for like for Rad, for like Laura and Danielle, and then I did one for Iceland as well for Reykjavik. And like, I was having to like go, like edit, because you have to take out, like, if you go like, you have to take that sound out because you don't want to leave it in. Right. So I was like going back, listening for little bits and whatever, and like you're just hearing yourself say and like over and over again, and you're just like, it doesn't even sound like fucking words anymore. And then you're also like, I was writing the stuff myself, like what I was going to say, and then I'd write it, and I'd be like, oh man, that sounds fucking epic, and then I'd say it, and then I'd watch it back, like, and I'd be like, oh, it's like, it sounds like such a fucking moron.
Do you edit these as well, where you cut these out? Like,
no, I do. So like, if you tell me something in the middle of it and then message me tomorrow, say like, oh, don't put that in, I'll edit that bit out, but I won't. Some people, you get these companies, I get about fucking 10 emails a week from like randomers in I don't know
Yeah.
where, saying like, oh, do you need your podcast edited? And they're like, we take out all the ums and ahs. And I was like, that's the conversation. Like that's like how people talk. Why would you take that? It'd be like, I say like all the time, and I search for words and stuff when I'm talking. The podcast length would be cut in half if you took all that out. It'd just be like 10 minutes.
Will be done, like,
Yeah. So CrossFit, good. Yeah, it's good. And then done. I was looking there earlier on today, and Snorri put up a post about, or a story about Emma Tall. So she was with or is with JST, so you know her from there. But he was putting up that she got sick last year, and obviously that as an athlete that's difficult when you get sick and your season is over. But he was saying the thing that they noticed, or they were reminded very quickly of, the fact that it's a business, because all these companies that she was talking about doing like deals with and sponsorships with to make her life easier suddenly pulled out when she was no longer like games athlete Emma Tall. She was like, a prospective games athlete and wasn't a games athlete.
Yeah. That's how it's all cutthroat. That's why I feel like the reliability and a lot of stress comes for, because like you don't know when you're gonna get injured. You know what I mean? You don't plan an injury or things like that. That's when things can be out of your control a bit. So it's scary, like, because fucking hell, if people just rap in fucking pain, you like, you can't turn around to the leggy man and be like, "Do you want to not go this week, mate?" For the fuck, like, especially where it's going, like, you have to give him a crate a week, like, you fucker. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Hey, do you want a tub of protein and fix my car?
Food Spring, it's good, like.
Yeah. When you're training with Tayla, and following Mayhem and stuff, obviously say that you're doing your own thing, and you're like, to me it kind of sounds like there's still a bit of an off season, like you're still kind of finding your feet a bit, and you're out messing around and stuff. Like you wouldn't be doing that in like April next year or whatever. Are you enjoying it? Is the stuff away from the gym making it more enjoyable than it has been before, as in that freedom and stuff? And are you anyway concerned about, like, say next April, when it's like you can't really do that shit, or you're tempted to do that shit and it could have damaging effects?
I feel like, yeah, it is relieving a bit to just do it in off season, but it's different approach with the program I'm doing at the minute. Like, it's totally different to what I've done before, and we're doing like running quite a bit and seeing progress, and that just makes you want to do it a little bit more every time, and it's just a different approach to training, and it is refreshing. Like, so besides the like chilling out with your mates and that, like, it is a good balance to have. Whereas, like, I keep telling Tay, just like, CrossFit's not everything. I was just like, we've still got to, like, be disciplined and things like that. I was like, but at the end of the day, like, when we hit 30, like, fucking CrossFit's done, girl. I was like, you can see back to CrossFit. But
Masters.
oh, fuck Masters. Like, honestly, mate, once I'm done CrossFit, I'm just going all in on COD. Fuck that. I'm just catfishing followers just to fucking live stream on COD.
Yeah, because it's funny that I just imagine a competition, like, the way you say that the qualifiers are easier when you've got a team around you and stuff. But like, I was at Neil Laverty from 80/20, and I was kind of asking him at Sid, I was like, what do you do now? Like, so you can't, like, you're not really going up to one of your athletes saying, all right, for these ring muscle ups now, like, you need to do X, Y, and Z or whatever. And he was like, no, like, once we land here, I remind them of where they should place, or like, what they should be looking to do. But he's like, more or less, and I witnessed it myself afterwards, then him just walking up to his athletes being like, get food, or like, go and sit down, or like, give me your phone and go and sit down, or whatever. Like, is that something, do you think that you might like, like, bring someone in who can kind of, I suppose, chaperone you through that?
Yeah, closer to like the serious end of the season probably. But for now, like, we're just doing it with a good group of people we've got around with the gym in Wales, 179, and we've got Penny Bont as well. But to be fair, mate, like, Tay was doing the Dubai qualifiers the other day, and she's like, we're putting 2 phones on just in case out happens to the first one. I was like, the first one will be sound. I was like, we don't need 2 phones. I just couldn't be asked to set up the second one. And she's already done the first workout once, and it's a fucking naughty one. Have you seen it? The 1 up to 10.
No.
It's 1 up to 10 clean and jerks at like 52 and 39 for the girls, and bar face and burpees. And then
Oh
in
god.
the remaining time, 1 rep max clean and jerk. And it's the time cap's, mate, it's only 12 minutes. Like the time cap's tight for you to build up or fucking clean after you've fucking peeled yourself off the deck. And
Yeah.
we read the rules were, they've changed the rules now, but the rules were that you had to change the weight yourself as well.
Okay.
So fucking hell. Like, you know what it's like putting a pit stop on when you're hanging out? Like, it's nails. So Tay done it, got an all right score, decent weight, but she wanted to do it again, and I've done it, and I think it fucking gave us COVID. Like I fucking went in that hard. I've got COVID 20 off it, man. Never mind 19. And like done a decent weight, but if I knew that they were going to change the rules and allow people to change the weights, like it would have took so much stress off you. Like you could have just recovered for
Yeah.
the minutes you had left and like built up and things like that. But so she ran again the second time round, and I remember looking at her phone, and obviously when it says recording, like I know that well now, like it's got the time counting up. So if it says 0000, like it means like it stopped recording. And she just finished the workout. Like I didn't know how long it stopped before this. So I guess it didn't stop like much after I checked. Like I guess it got the workout in, and she was like busy, like 2 minutes left on the clean and jerk, whatever she had time she had left, and she was building up. And I was like waving to Johnny, but like trying to get Johnny's attention, but not Taylor's. I was like, Johnny, I was like giving him sign language, all this. I was like, come to the phone, mate, because something's not right. And I got accused for stopping it early last time as well, the first attempt, because we didn't show the weight of what was on the barbell, even though you could clearly see what was on the barbell. But apparently I stopped the fucking phone. I definitely didn't stop this one. I was like, Johnny, come to this. Tell me that says it stopped here. So Tayla was still busy maxing out a fucking clean and jerk. She had like a minute left or whatever at this point. And then I whispered to him, I was like, you can break this to Tayla that it's stopped again. I was like, because I'm not dealing with this wrath. And she walked over to the phone. She obviously knew something was up. And I was like standing with a second phone back up there, like just randomly just in the last minute of the work. Like, hopefully Dubai will take the extra minutes worth of this. And she was like, why is the phone not on? Oh, mate, she went fucking off it. Like, I got a grilling. Like, she was fucking raging because she beat her time as well. And then she had more weight on the bar. I was just like, well, you got to look at the positive. I was like, you're getting fit as fuck off doing this qualifier all the time.
I assume you didn't say that at the moment.
like it took us like 2 minutes to calm her down ish, and then I said that, and it like kicked her off again. But I was like, I got a proper grilling. Like, but little things
Definitely,
like that is
definitely the worst part of that story is the fact that she said, "Oh, can we set up a second camera?" You're like, "Nah, there's no point." That's the worst part of the whole thing.
She didn't say that. I couldn't have done nothing wrong, but because I said no, I'll be all right. Course it fucking fell off.
Yeah, I've learned that just with my wife, is that even if I think I'm doing everything right, if she makes a suggestion, it's just easier just to do the suggestion. Because if it goes wrong, at least then it's like I did everything that I thought and you thought. We're all free here. Like nobody's to blame. Whereas if it's like, yeah, but remember I said, it's like you did fucking say it. Yeah, you did say it. So like now at least it's like all boxes have been ticked.
But I can tell when I'm in the doghouse, she'll like fucking. We had a bit of a fucking kerfuffle a couple of weeks ago when I went to Hereford to see my mate. I hadn't seen him in ages, and like I could tell she didn't want us to go to Hereford. And the way I put the phone down and the way the phone call ended, I was just like, nah. I was just like, no, that was too easy to go Hereford. That was too easy. I was like, nah. She said, you go and enjoy Hereford. I was like, nah, that was too easy. And then I just had this sense. I was like, I can feel I'm going to get an essay here. Then I checked my phone and bam, essay like this. I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake. Fucking hard work. It'd be easier than being single.
Yeah. That's probably, you're better off though. What about off season then? So did you do Dubai to see what her score was like, or are you doing it to qualify as well?
Oh, we're doing it to qualify.
Okay. And what else have you got? Are you going to try and go back to Miami?
No, not Miami. Miami's like, it's good and it's nice to be a part of, but it's more like a fucking party. Like it's fucking.
That's where
If you
I'm going.
especially if you're going not there fucking to win, like it's fucking nails, man. And it's an expensive dig, and if you come away with nothing, like it's tough, and only the best go. It's nice to test yourself against that, but probably not at that level, especially with the type of things that come out with especially with fucking swimming. Like fucking drains me that event. Honestly, so I wanted the shop the eaters this year. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, how am I going so slow here? I was nearly starting fights in the water, man. Everyone kept touching us. I was like, honestly, you touch me one more time in this water, you get knocked the fuck out. And then I was like, hey, everyone stop touching us. I was like, no wonder, because I'm fucking last in the water and everyone's in front of us. I just jumped down, and the support guy was there. I was like, any chance of me jumping in that fucking boat, like, boy?
Yeah, you're like swimming after the second slowest to try and hit them for hitting you when they went past. Yeah. So you got Arnold. That's in Birmingham, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got Arnold, not this weekend, coming up the weekend after. That's the hardest thing is going to be balancing fucking the Dubai qual, because it comes out on the Thursday. So I'm going to have to go to the gym, wait for it to come out, do it, have a day off before Arnold on the Friday. And then we're doing Arnold individual, and then we're doing the team the day after as well.
At Arnold as well.
Yeah. So it's the individual on the Saturday, and then the team on the Sunday.
And is that teams of 4, or how's that working?
Yeah, teams of 4.
Okay. And is it designed like that? Because Whatapaluza are doing that, where they want people to
Yeah, that
do.
looks quite cool. Like it's mad that they've only put they only put 2 days of competition on this time. Like
Yeah.
fucking hell, them 2 days are gonna be naughty. Like fucking,
Yeah.
we've got to squeeze
Like, because they had a rest day last year, didn't they?
no, was it?
I thought they did. Maybe they didn't. Maybe
I
I'm
think it
wrong.
got cancelled though because of there was a storm or
Oh,
something.
okay, yeah.
Things changed.
Because yeah, like I saw that originally, and I was like, "Oh, this is genius!" Because like, so if you have a sponsor, like say if you were out there, you could be like, "Right, I'm going to go to the food spring, earn a bit of money, like fulfill some obligations or whatever, and then I'll go and do this and meet some people, whatever, and then you can compete as well." But then like Lucy Campbell messaged me and was like, "No, it's not good." She's like, "I'm going all the way over to Miami for 2 days," and then like I think it was like Steve Fawcett messaged me. It was like loads of people won't go now, and I was like, "Oh, okay, it's actually shit." I thought it was really good. He was like, "It's good for people in America or like people like you, but it's not good for athletes who are like, yeah, I'm going to spend 10 grand and go over for 2 days and then come home again."
Yeah, but you could do the team with your mates going over there fucking after, like.
Yeah, I said that. I asked, I told Lucy I'd get her a team. I said, I get you 2 girls for a team. And then she's like, oh, I'm actually not able to do the qualifiers. I'm busy. So I was like, all right, okay, fair enough. I would have just asked, I would have demanded some sort of, I think they wear a t-shirt or something. It would have overcomplicated things anyway, because I would have put them in such an awkward position to say no.
that old school banner they can wear as a fucking cape and
flopping over every time they're lifting it up in the middle of workouts. Yeah. When you have aspirations, or when you have like, obviously you ask any athlete like what like, oh, what's the plan, like what are you hoping to do, or what what's the aims for the season or whatever, they'll always say like, oh, I want to go to the games. And then if they're going to the games, they'll always say, oh, I want to win the games. And like obviously everybody can't go to the games, and obviously even fewer people can win the games. Do you ever struggle with like balancing, say, like aspirations and then like realism of like
realism? Yeah, I feel I'm quite clear with that. Like I'm not unrealistic with my goals, and like ticking the games off is a pretty big goal of mine. Like sort of fucking winning the games and things like that. Like I'm realistic with like I know I can compete when it comes to the workouts, like fucking old school, a bit like grunt work, CrossFit workouts, but like some of the gymnastic stuff to win the games, mate. Like you've got to be fucking down to a T, like so well rounded, and it's just I don't feel like I'm there, like with like that the gymnastic stuff. What was there this year, like the double and the crossovers and things like that. Like it's just things that you don't even think about. Like it's fucking it's nails, like.
But the games is so different. Like it's so like if you look at the semifinals or like quarterfinals or anything, and then you go to the games, it's like you know, you mentioned swimming there. Like the games always has an event like that. Like the programming is so different that it's like
Yeah,
you could see someone winning a semi-final and then
yeah, and
not
then
even finishing in the top 20. Like,
yeah, exactly. But I feel it's massive on. You seen that? What was that lad? He went out and won the run. He just wanted to win the run event. You get a bit of prize money. Was it the run and the shoulder overhead? He
oh yeah,
was sending the fucking 800-meter runs just to win the time of the, because that was two separate scores, wasn't it? But like,
yeah,
what 100 points do you on a leaderboard? Like, fucking hell, it's mad. Like, I think Morning Chocolate put a post the other day of the average score of, I think it was Ricky Garrard and Roman Krennikov. And where did Ricky Garrard finish? Third?
heard, yeah,
Oh, was it? But of the average scores of was the past few years, and I feel if you don't have to be fitter, but if you just like be more sensible with where you know what you can win with what 100 points can do for you, like it's fucking massive. It's better than finishing just top 10 in everything else. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it makes a massive difference with the scoring system. I was talking to my friend he's running the Marbella championships next month, and I said the scoring system makes a huge difference on who's going to win the overall, like, because you see obviously in the open, like it's got to be done on that scoring system because they don't know how many numbers is going to be there, whereas when you've got less than 100 people in the category, you can score it across the board where 100 points comes first, when then they can just drop down from that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you go to a local competition, there's only 40 people there, you get 1 point for coming first. If you have one bad finish, like you can say bye to the fucking podium. Even if you win the next 5 workouts and you've placed 30th on one of them, like you probably weren't even going to make the podium
yeah,
because of the scoring system, how it works. And I feel like it is massive, and it's overlooked really. Of especially in quarterfinals and things like that. Like you could win 4 workouts in quarterfinals, and you come fucking 1,000, like fucking not even 1,000, like 400th on one. Like you're not going to semis, even though you've won fucking 4 of the 5 workouts. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's mad. It's mad, the score.
yeah. I suppose there's kind of two approaches. There's like that, you know, the kind of wheelhouse approach where you like win and then just damage control and win and
Yeah,
damage control, and then you've got like the pan check of just like
yeah, consistent.
fifths, or like
Yeah,
Medeiros does that. Like, except
yeah,
this year, I suppose the difference was that his consistency was matched with like winning events then every so often as well. Like, you know,
yeah,
so when you're like, I'm curious of the mindset of someone who's training, especially essentially like coachless, I suppose. You're training, you know, you're following programming, but it's just like you, and you're your own like mindset coach and your own, you know, you're watching over what you're doing yourself, and like there's
yeah,
added pressure there. But like, I imagine if you're doing that and you've kind of, maybe it's different for you because you got Tayla there as a point of reference and you've got the Mayhem leaderboard as a point of reference, but like it'd be very easy to trick yourself into
oh,
thinking
kidding
like
stuff. Oh yeah, I'm
that
doing
you're
enough.
doing way too much or you're not doing
Yeah,
enough or
yeah,
whatever, and then you come out at a competition and you're wrecked or you're like way too loose and like
yeah,
get destroyed.
yeah, exactly. And this will be the first comp where it's just everything I've done is off my own back and off feel, and I haven't had no one taping me or pick me for it. Like it's just off experience and off my how my body's feeling, and hopefully I'm going to be ready for it when it comes on. Or like because especially when I know I said the UK title isn't the biggest thing, but in some people's eyes it is, and like if they can turn me over at a competition, like they're going to turn it on, like, so it's not going to be a pushover of a competition,
Yeah.
especially with some of the UK lads that are coming through. It's fucking like Evander and things like that. The fucking naughty athletes, like they can fucking dig it.
So you got Arnold, you've got hopefully Dubai. What else?
That's it, mate. That's it for the rest of
Are
the
you
season.
are you doing Marbella? Are you going to Marbella, or were you just talking to your man?
No, I was just talking. I was just helping them with just some ideas and things like that.
Okay. And then the open quarters,
Yeah,
semi-finals.
where's this fucking year end? It's the fucking 9th month already. Like, it's fucking mad how quick things go. Like,
It is crazy.
by the time we know what we're going to be in the open again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always the way obviously my season is a lot different from yours, where every year I do the Open, and every year I'm like, right, by the time next year comes around, fucking Toast Bar, I'm fucking telling you. And then it's like January, I'm like, oh fuck, I did it again. Like that's my consistency. That's my pan check. It's like remembering I need to do something and then forgetting to do it for 12 months. Then having that, seeing the first workout of the Open, be like, fuck, I did it again.
Toast Bar by enough. Fuck, they go like.
Yeah. It's like, oh, my double unders are okay. I was fucking Toast Bar before it though. I'm fucking okay, well look, thanks. Oh sorry, I wanted to talk to you about your programming. You're doing To the Top, is that what it's called?
Yeah, like
how's that going?
Yeah, just one-off programs for. I feel like me and my mate Mikey will make a bit of noise and set a bit of a trend with like how we talk and like a bit of mannerisms, things like that, and like the young lads like to be a part of it. And we just put one-off programs up, especially like the squat program, the lung program, things like that, just to be a part of and just to be a bit of fucking just a hashtag really, like.
Yeah. So is it like similar to say like Can Porter stuff where you get like a 12-week block and you just go and do it yourself? It's not like okay, all right, okay, that's cool. So what have you got? You got strength, squat, is that what you said? Lungs, what else?
And we've just brought out a partner one as well, but we're thinking about doing like a monthly subscription one, but then it's just more work for yourself with like a bit more stress than what I need right now. Like, I don't really need that kind of stuff. Like, I just want to go out there and perform well and then think about something like that in the future. Like,
but yeah, when you're playing your Call of Duty, you can be like programming on the laptop.
During deaths, like
you know that thing where you I don't know if you've ever done that, where you're texting someone and then you, as you're typing, you say something to someone and then you look at your phone and you've typed what you've said. So you'd be like, and you're in the middle of the program, it'd be like, that fucking sniper. That's good. Well, listen, thanks for coming back on. It's been great to chat to you. You seem really happy. It's great. I'm excited to see what you can do at Arnold, and hopefully you get to go to Dubai. That'd be great crack. Sure, you earn your money back there just by turning up, don't you?
Yeah, you fucking get money for coming last, man. Fucking class.
That's the dream. God, maybe I should go for it. Do you have to qualify? Can you just turn up? I'd definitely come last. I can do that. It's like DNF all the way through. Best of luck with all that, and next year as well. And hopefully you retain your title for 2023. Thanks. Great to chat to you.
Cheers, mate.